G'day, Finru here. How you doing? Welcome along to Homebrew Wednesday on a Tuesday. So as you know, my last brew that I brewed was, well, not the last one I brewed, but the one before that, the one that I took down to Twizel, was in fact my dark ale brewed with Manuka tips. And very nice it was too. A few things going on with it that I wasn't sure about, but sent a couple of bottles away with Roy when he came down to stay, and he gave me a positive feedback on it, which was good. So I have explained that beer before. What I got today was another beer to sort of try because I don't actually have any homebrew with me at the moment. But the Spruce beer, which is what gave me the that might be backwards on the screen, but the Spruce beer by Wigram Brewery. So I picked up a bottle of this today, and while it's still fresh on my palate, if you like, from a few weeks back, I thought I might try theirs. And now I know that they use golden syrup in this, and it says here flavoured with spruce, remu, and tea tree. So I did know that, but I've only just read it and reminded myself I should have just checked. But I think tea tree is Manuka. So we call it Manuka here. It's the Maori name for it, but it's tea tree. So when Captain Cook came here, he used remu, which is spruce. We have a native tree called remu, which is spruce, and tea tree, which we call Manuka. And the brew that I did a few weeks back was the Tired Bastard, basically a dark beer, and I just threw Manuka tips in it in the boil. So anyway, I thought I'd grab a bottle of this and do the Homebrew Wednesday, and we'll have a chat. So I'll just tear the scab off this. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of a cough. I was a little bit crook at the end of my trip from Twizel, which is actually why I've called. Oh, that's a nice colour, isn't it? It's why I've called the fresh hop beer that I've brewed on Saturday. I've called it the Rude Awakening. So that's what I've called it because I was a month in Twizel by myself, or with my dog, with Baxter, and I found it difficult to get in the swing of it. It just wasn't like last time. You know, sometimes when we think to ourselves, "Oh, it's going to be good. It was great last time," I just couldn't get into it. And I tried. I did a lot of meditation, a lot of study, and then I was having trouble with my medications, and then I came down with the most horrendous flu. But anyway, I've called it a rude awakening because as I was driving home, when I recovered a bit, I realised how fortunate, in fact, I am. And I think sometimes we need something to remind us of how fortunate we are. Cheers. So here we go. This is the Spruce beer from Wigram Brewery. Had a great chat with the guys today and yesterday. First brewed on the 1st of April, 1773, beside Cook Stream in Dusky Sound. This distinctive beer closely follows Captain Cook's original healthy recipe. Cook wrote, beer was exceeding palatable and esteemed by everyone on board. Enjoy the taste of New Zealand history. Served from chill to 8 degrees. And I think this is probably about 8 degrees. Now, I had a bit of a chat with the brewer today, or both the brewers today, about my Manuka beer, and there were two issues. And Roy came back to me about one of the issues I had too, and I agreed with him. Is are there a lot of oils in the Manuka tips? Because head retention wasn't flash on my beer. It was okay. There was a bit of lacing there, and so I was sort of wondering if there was an excess of oil. Now I can actually see that this one. It's hard to tell sometimes because it can be the glass, but you can see that that's actually dissipating a bit, and they are quite large bubbles. It was what I experienced with mine. Now in this one here, they will also put golden syrup. And I think that golden syrup is exactly what my Manuka beer needs. Golden syrup carries a lovely caramel on, aftertaste, or it contributes a little bit of malt. If you remember when I was sort of mucking around with different bitters and that, I was trying to get that malt from those English beers, that sort of toffee that you get. So I started adding golden syrup, and I got that. But then I got a recipe from David for one of the beers, and he had dark crystal malt in it, and that gave me the malt is that toffee as well. But anyway, let's have a look. Cheers! It's a beautiful colour. Okay, so there's a. I can smell the trees in it. Cheers! Let's go dive in. Oh, okay, so this is very, very nice. Blows mine right out of the water, actually. This is flavour wise. It's now it has the same drying, bittering finish that mine had from the Manuka, and I think there's quite a bit of bitterness in those Manuka branches. I don't know how you calculate that. It's not a biggie, but if you're going to do a brew with Manuka or something like that, just back off on your bittering hops, because so it has got a nice dry finish, and it's certainly a different beer. It's very nice, and once again, there's now with my Manuka one, I actually tasted. I don't know if you guys around the world have a lolly. So it's sort of it's called a Jaffa, and it's sort of like the sort of lolly you have at the picture theatre, and they're kind of like a chocolate in the middle, and it's sort of orange on the outside. You roll them down the aisle at the pictures. So and I could taste that in my beer when I drank it warmer. I got this Jaffa taste, and also I know it came to me because I had tasted the Manuka seeds after the flowers that started to seed, and I put some in my mouth, and I thought, oh, that's quite orange. It's got quite orange. But there's another kind of flavour here, and it might be coming from the Rimu. But mine definitely needs some golden syrup in it, kind of with adds that kind of it adds a residual sweetness is the word that I was looking for. Residual sweetness from. Don't be scared to use any adjuncts in your beer. I didn't used to be into it, but something like golden syrup, especially with a kit beer, is, in my opinion, preferable to sugar or even dextrose, actually, because it does lend a little bit of, as I say, that toffee to the beer. And if you're doing some kind of an English best bitter or a brown or a stout, remember my spice stout that I did a wee while back was beautiful. It was just the spices were quite strong at the start, but then after a sort of 4 or 5 weeks, those spices really mellowed out. Anyway. So that's cheers. That's really good. So if you're living in Christchurch or New Zealand, and you can find this bottle of Spruce beer, buy a bottle, give it a go, and let me know in the comments what you think of it, or if you had it before, what you think of it, because I think it's very nice and different. You know what I mean? And so just moving along, I did on Saturday. You probably were seeing my shorts. Look at these hops. I don't know if you can see any. Look at the yellow in there. Look at those. Come into focus. Back a bit. That is just wonderful. And oh, look, the smell is fantastic. I think I just picked them at the right time. Probably I didn't, I picked the rest of them. Are all over there drying out at the moment, and I don't want to. I wouldn't want to leave it for any more time. So they're just drying out, and tomorrow I'll vacuum pack them. But the oils, and just get on your fingers, and just a beautiful hop. And this is by far the best. I was actually wondering why I was doing it, because last year was okay, and the other years have been okay, but this has just been outstanding. You know what I mean? Big, thick hops and lots of them. So the brew that I did on, which is in there at the moment fermenting, and it took off like a rocket. I did a starter. I used 04, SO4 yeast. I've got it up on my computer here. And I called it the Rude Awakening. I did it. Ended up as a 22 litre, but I only got, I got 19 in the bucket because of the hops soaking up so much, and that's fine. So I'll get probably about 18 litres in a 19 litre keg, which is fine. The original gravity was, it says 1044. I ended up with about 1045, so that's fine. Final gravity should be 1011. Bitterness. Now, this is interesting. I took a leaf, excuse the pun, I took a leaf out of Tube Dino's book. And so Tube Dino doesn't normally do any bittering additions, and normally he starts bittering or adding his hops at the 10-minute mark, or sometimes just in the whirlpool. And I've tasted some of his beers, and there's some nice subtle bitterness there. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not going to add any bittering hops, any palate hops at the start of the boil. I'm just going to use my fresh hops, and I'm going to start at 20 minutes. And I was very surprised at the amount of bitterness I got. Well, I don't know what the alpha acids are, and I got a comment from Sharky asking me if I knew what they were, and I don't. So I've just used the computer here to sort it out. And going by the computer, so at 20 minutes, I put 115 grams of Fuggles wet hop. So that gave me an IBU of 35.64, which is pretty massive at 20 minutes, right? And then I put, and so it's all, it was all a guesstimate. It was all estimated at 115. So 115 grams at 20 minutes, 115 grams at 10, 115 grams at 5, and 150 grams at 1 minute, and that was it. Then I cooled it down real fast. On the grain bill was so pale malt 4 kg, biscuit malt 200 grams, and crystal 120 at 200 grams. Now, so that's given me a colour of 9.1 SRM, and the bitterness is 81.3, all up, 81.3, which is really high. So that's what it says on the computer. The proof of the pudding will be in the tasting. I hope it's not going to be too bitter, but 81 sounds quite bitter to me. So just as well, I didn't put any bittering hops in at 80 minutes sort of thing. Otherwise, we'd be getting close to 100 IBUs or something. But anyway, it's 83.1. The BU-GU ratio is 1.85, so you can see that that's up. It's bitter forward. The balance value is 4.05. So it's not balanced right in the middle. You're going to get a really hoppy, hopefully a nice hoppy brew. And sometimes when you add it in, the bitterness later, you get the bitterness, but it's not harsh. So we'll see what happens. And the alcohol by volume is a 4.32, which is bang on. So I've made a couple of notes here. Where's the notes? Here they go. Forgot to put the whirl flop tablet in and the yeast nutrients at 20 minutes. I just forgot. I was so excited about doing the hops. Did a starter with a packet of USO5. No. Did a starter with SO4. So I used SO4. So I did a starter with some, just a little bit of yeast nutrient and some DMS, dry malt DME, dry malt extract. It was a very fast fermentation. In fact, when I came back out here the next morning, she was well underway, and you could see the scum coming up the the bucket from the outside, and so much so that after 2 days it had really slowed down. So I decided to bump the temperature up to 22 degrees at that point. So so that's what I did, and so normally after 3 days it'll be up to 22 from 19 for the diacetyl rest. But anyway, it's tomorrow I will start. It's looking good in there. She's just about stopped. Man. That's after what? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So 4 days. It's just about stopped. So tomorrow I'll start doing some hydrometer readings, and I'll do them over 3 days. And if it's stopped, then I'll keg it. Oh no, I'll cold crash it. So that'll be really good. That's about it, I think. Probably had some other things to share with you, but it's good to be back in the brewery. It's great to be home. And it was good to have a rude awakening. We just have to I just really want everyone to know that, we all struggle, and but it's normal, and it's the way it is. And let's not get too upset about things. Met some great people when I was away. And it was great to see familiar faces when I came back to Christchurch, and really realised how fortunate I am. So everybody, you out there, you take care. And thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Like or subscribe if you want. It's a great little community that we have here with the Brew Wednesday and everything like that. I've met some wonderful people, and I'm very happy. So thank you so much. Cheers, guys. You take care.